And welcome to the review of the Merida 120 6000. Before we begin, I have to tell you that I'm a road cyclist, so I do not have a lot of experience in mountain biking. But I do think that gives me a unique perspective on this bike and on mountain bikes in general. Let's start. I will go a little bit into the tech because there's some fun stuff going on with this bike I want to tell you about. As I'm editing this, I noticed the video is getting a little bit boring. So let's go outside, have some fun and talk about the tech outside. Let's go. It's super windy out here and it's already starting to rain a little bit. So going outside was not the best idea. But let's go to a place where it's less windy and I can talk a little bit about the bike. It's like really dark clouds just behind me, so I don't want to be stuck here in the rain. So let's go to a drier place. This is my favorite place to go to when the weather is really terrible outside. And I think a good place to talk a little bit about the tech. The weather is getting super terrible outside right now, so I might as well have some fun and practice some wheelies. So I'm not really good at doing wheelies, but that's one of the fun things I did with this bike. When I had like 1 hour to spare, I just get the bike and practice doing some wheelies. I think that's what I love about this bike. It's so much fun. I really love to ride it. I don't want to get into the specs too much because I'm no expert in mountain biking, like I said, but there were a few things that stood out to me, so I want to talk about them. First thing I want to talk about, and was a little bit odd to me as a road cyclist, is the group set, because we have Shimano MT-500 brakes and SRAM GX Eagle shifter and rear derailleur. And that's something you will never see on a road bike, a mix of Shimano and SRAM. For me personally, it worked great. I heard that the Shimano brakes are really great, like top of the market. The SRAM shifting was perfect, worked fine for me. So really happy about it and I really liked it. Second thing I like to talk about is this Integra dropper post. This is something I wouldn't think I liked so much. I liked it for a couple of reasons. The first one, and it's a really unusual one, is that when I put the bike in a car, it's just really big. Like you have this really large frame and really big wheels. So I would just put the seat post down and it's much easier to get the bike in the car. I know it's a little bit of a stupid reason, but yeah, that's one thing I liked about it. Also, when you want to get on the bike, because of the 29-inch wheels, it's very hard because the saddle is just very high. So every time I got off the bike, I just put the seat post down, and when I got on the bike, I could push it back up. Another thing I really liked was the internal cable routing, because all the cables go inside the frame. It's easier to clean the bike, but also easier to maintain because your cables get less dirty. The last thing I want to point out is the float link rear suspension. Mostly I put it in the most tight position because we're in the Netherlands and the roads are just pretty flat and not really big downhills. But still I liked it because it took the edge off a little and you have a really smooth ride overall. This editing break was a lot of fun. The last 30 minutes I spent trying to make the perfect Instagram picture, and it's pretty difficult if you have to put the camera on self-timer for 10 seconds and then perfectly time a wheelie just before the shutter hits. If you want to see my attempt, go to my Instagram page right now, because I think it will turn out to be a pretty cool picture. I haven't seen it yet on my computer, but I think it will be awesome. And I think it's time to get back home right now. But I really enjoyed this short editing break. It's something I did quite often on this bike. Just take it for a spin, try to do some wheelies. I'm not perfect in doing wheelies yet, but I got a lot better. Like the first one today were terrible. But at the end, it got much better. You can see it in my Instagram picture. I'm getting better. So let's go continue this review at home. So to finish it off, I want to tell you about my experience and if this bike is something for you. First of all, I don't think this is the perfect bike for the Netherlands, because I don't think you need a full suspension in the Netherlands. We have a very flat country with not a lot of downhills. So if you're planning to use the bike in the Netherlands like I did, I don't think that it's the perfect bike. Still a lot of fun though, but in the Netherlands I would not advise to take a full suspension, but maybe a front suspension only. That being said, if you don't live in the Netherlands, or if you live in the Netherlands and you want to ride the bike abroad, so maybe in the French Alps or even in Belgium, you can have a lot of fun on this bike. And I think it's a good entry-level bike, so if you want to get into mountain biking and want something super all-round, you can use in the Netherlands, but also abroad. I think this could be a really good fit for you. So we came to the end of my review. I had a lot of fun riding this bike, but also a lot of fun making this video like you saw today. And if you like this video as well, please hit the like button. And if you want to see more of my videos, don't forget to subscribe.